This is bad. There's no need to sugarcoat any assessment of New Mexico's coronavirus situation. The question now is, by issuing a stay-at-home order, are better days ahead? That's our first question for the Line Opinion panel. Let me introduce them. We've got guest panelist Giovanna Rossi with us. She's president of Collective Action Strategies. We're also joined by former House Rep and Line regular Daniel Foley up there in Rio Rancho. Line regular and attorney Laura Sanchez is always here. And another Line regular is with me this week. That would be Tom Garrity of the Garrity Group PR. Tom, I want to point out that this isn't as strict as the March shutdown. We all know that. But as I said, the question is, will it be enough? Let's just start as a baseline question right there. What does your gut tell you?
Well, it has to be enough. I mean, it's the kind of the situation that we're in right now. You know, we've got through Thanksgiving to see just how much of an impact it will take. But, you know, the proof will be in the pudding. You know, if all of a sudden infection rates are down, then it worked. If not, then, you know, it didn't.
Mm-hmm. Dan, let me go to you. What's been the reaction from your peer group, your friends, either down in Roswell, other parts of the state, or here in Rio Rancho? What are you hearing out there?
Concerning the lockdown?
The lockdown, right. The reset, we should call it.
Yeah. Obviously, Gene, that's a loaded question for me. I mean, you know, the circles I roll around in are, you know, they're not supportive of this, right? I mean, they say, it's been interesting. I will tell you, you know, a lot of people are not opposed to the masks and not opposed to the social distancing. They just can't get their head around. So, you know, I can't go to a friend's restaurant and eat, but I can go stand in line for 3 hours to get into Costco, or I can go stand in line to get into Safeway, or, you know, I can go to a bicycle repair shop, but I can't, but I can't go, you know, do the things that I want to do. So I think that's the kind of, I think people are just, at least people that I hear from are just, and they also are saying, look, we did this once before, you know, we shut down, and then as soon as we opened back up, we had a spike again. And so, you know, I think it's clear that there's really not going to be a way to contain this until there's some sort of a vaccine or the antibodies are built up, because it seems like every time we shut down,
I want to make sure you're clear here. Are you saying there's nothing else to be done until the vaccine? Isn't this the way that we're doing it now?
I said that I don't think it seems when you look across the country with closings and openings and the expanding and contracting of the orders in other states, they seem to, you know, the numbers seem to, you know, go with them, right?
Gotcha.
As you contract everything, the numbers go down. The minute you open it back up, the numbers start to go up again. So it seems like it doesn't seem like anything has worked once you open it back up again. So I'm not sure. I think that's what people are frustrated about, right? They're like, so we're going to close for 2 weeks. The numbers are going to go down. We're going to get told we can go out again. The numbers are going to go back up. We're going to get told we have to, you know, shelter at home orders again. So I just don't know. It doesn't seem like there's much that can be done. You know, we're almost at a year into this. It doesn't seems like it's been the same yo-yo.
Hey, Giovanna, I got to ask, you know, on Thursday as we tape this, you know, the governor has her revised reset, so to speak, that went into place. By clarifying that essential retailers aren't just big box stores, and, you know, Ross and others have been kind of pointed out there, you know, there's a lot of heartburn out there from retailers, local retailers, who feel like they're being unfairly treated here. How do we balance the needs of a local business with balancing the needs to keep us all safe here? Is there a better way than what we're seeing now?
Yeah, I mean, this is such a deep and broad topic. And you know, usually when we see major issues in the community, and we have two now, we have an economic, you know, crisis, and we have a health pandemic. So we're dealing with double, you know, problems here. And usually in this kind of situation, you have legislators and policymakers spending a lot of time looking at research, you know, developing policies, and we just haven't had the time to do that. We haven't had the resources to do that.
But so we've had since spring, when you think about it, you know.
Right, but the research that's coming out now, it is new, right? Like
Gotcha.
we didn't have anything to look at before, and we've seen the governor responding in the way that she has, without, you know, right or wrong. It's just the way it is, without the input of a lot of other, wider constituents. But the question about local business, I think the new clarification of the public health order is going to help. But it's just tough. It's tough, and there's a fundamental question, I think, here that isn't being addressed in any of this. I think we're talking about, do these little solutions work? Does this effort work over here? Is this 2 weeks going to make a difference? There's a much broader, more fundamental question at hand here, which is, how can we as a society have a strong economy and also take care of the health of our biggest asset, which is our people? And we're not addressing the fundamentals here. And there seems to be that those two things are in conflict, actually.
Laura, the revised order is a reminder to bigger retailers, not necessarily big box, but bigger retailers, that a third of your income has to come from food products, things like that. And here's a list of folks that are still open: Dillard's, Macy's, Bed Bath & Beyond, Dick's Sporting Goods, Kohl's, Tuesday Morning, Big Five, Burlington Coat Factory. It's a long list. Do you hear any food in any of those folks? Why are they open?
Well, I thought that the recent revision was supposed to address those retailers as not being eligible to be open, but I could be wrong. That's how I understood the most recent revision to be. But the bottom line is that I do think that those particular retailers shouldn't have an expectation of being open. If they weren't open in the previous the previous step that we took in the lockdown back in March and April, I don't see why they would be open this time. Nothing has really changed in the type of products that they provide. But it does sound like the one thing that's different, I think, for us here in New Mexico, that wasn't the case before. When we shut down before, everything was shut down across the country. So you couldn't even do online sales, or you couldn't purchase anything and have it delivered. Now you can. So it's a state-by-state sort of issue, and other states are still able to do some commerce. So if you have some online purchases that you need to make from some of those retailers, especially going into the holiday season, you can actually do that online and still get your products delivered. Right. There's also still delivery of certain, DoorDash and Grubhub and all those Postmates kind of services are still delivering. So I think it's really important that we take a step back and try to support our local businesses that are struggling to stay open. There's a couple of local places that I like very much that I try to order from at least once a week just to keep them afloat. And anytime we have any, need to purchase anything, I try to go with a local vendor if we can. But I think there's just so much anxiety right now. The holidays in general coming up provides a level of anxiety for people, even outside of a pandemic. Now there's a pandemic going on, and there's a lot of uncertainty with that. There's a lot of tension, and then there's a lot of economic insecurity out there. So I think that all of that is creating this perfect storm for people to really have severe fatigue when it comes to staying home, and just anxieties through the roof. And so it's really a public health, mental health crisis at this point.
That's a good point. Hey, Tom, let me read you something from the governor's office when the blowback started to come in about this bigger retailers staying open. In part, it says, I understand people's frustrations, but the state can't write a public health order that goes through and identifies every single store. What the state can do is identify baseline principles and convey them to the public and to different industries. Now, end quote. Let me ask you a question on that. I would expect, and maybe I'm just off here, but I would expect that since spring, a county like Bernalillo County by November, late November as we sit here, very much could have gone through and identified industries, stores, whatever, that would be easily able to follow the governor's criteria, but they've been swept under the rug under this long, sweeping, everyone must close kind of a thing. Have we gone wrong here by not trying to identify industries and stores to stay open in a more nuanced way?
Yeah, there are a lot of really good studies out there. You circulated one from MIT that really kind of addressed, the key issues as far as criteria about what stores should open and which stores are probably riskier to have open.
Right.
Here's the thing is the big challenge for small business specifically, because big business, as we can see, as we've talked about, the big box stores are going to find a way to adapt. The smaller businesses are not. And so, there was about 2 months of planning that went in to establishing the public health orders. At least that's what the governor's office had shared early on, that they had been studying, how to, really protect New Mexicans 2 months before the public health orders were issued back on March 11th. And since that time, the state has come out with different criteria for small businesses, for all businesses, as far as the Stay Safe program. Companies have registered for that. They've followed the rules. They've checked all of the boxes that the state says that they're supposed to check. Then all of a sudden it's just like, well, you know what? That doesn't count anymore,
right?
Because the rules are changed. And so in essence, the rug has been pulled out from underneath a lot of small businesses, no more so than what we saw with the travel tourism industry. Granted, nobody's really going to be traveling right now. Everybody's preparing for those next steps as far as the travel environment starting up again. But when you look at what has happened with the lodgers tax, it's just that the industry has been decimated. And so, you have companies that play by the rules, and then they had the rules changed, even though they're following them. And,
right.
It impacts small business the most.
Hey, Giovanna, Thanksgiving's next Thursday. As we all know, huge family weekend. We talked about this a little bit last week. Are people canceling plans? I'm not, my peer group, maybe it's the people I hang out with on Facebook and stuff, I see a lot of plans being made for Thanksgiving, almost in defiance. What are you sensing out there?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to pick up on what Tom was saying. And I just want to say, nothing about this is fair, right? Like, let's just take the word fair out of this. It's just not fair. And the fact that we're focusing, so much on business, and I get it. I'm a small business owner too. Granted, I don't have a storefront and it's totally different, but, it's not fair. It's not fair. As Laura said, the mental health crisis is unreal. It's incredibly damaging to, as I said earlier, our biggest asset, which is our people, right? Our human beings. So businesses are made up of humans, and we have to take care of our humans. And this is, it's just not fair on any level. But for Thanksgiving, folks in my team, we have all shared our plans. We're all staying home. We're not sharing Thanksgiving outside of the people that we live with. And I think that is the general kind of rule of thumb here, is that that is the best way to stay safe and keep others safe. We all have older relatives that we want to see again next Thanksgiving. And this is really, our contribution. It's not fair. I don't think that we have to cancel Thanksgiving. Like, I don't think it's canceling. I think we can still give thanks. We can be grateful. We can eat turkey. We can do the things. We just need to be smart and follow the public health order.
Daniel, what are you hearing out there for Thanksgiving? Just give it up about a minute here.
Yeah, it's interesting on what's been said. I'm here and running the gambit. We were supposed to be going out of town. We were actually going to Texas. My wife has laid down the law, and so we're staying here with just our family. I think the biggest hurdle to this is, and I'm not, listen, first of all, let me say, I'm not angry with the governor. She's doing the best she can. I may not agree with things she's doing, but to attack her like she's waking up every day trying to figure out how to ruin New Mexico, I think is a bad move. Mm-hmm. You can only do what you can do with the information you've got at the time. But I think the thing, to Giovanna's point and what others are saying, is there is a problem when you see, and I'm not picking on this person, I'm just using it as an example. When you see stay-at-home orders in California and then the governor's filmed at a private party, I think that's the problem, that people are like, well, wait a minute. If they can go out, why can't I go out? Mm-hmm. So I would tell you it's about 50-50 with people that I know that are staying home. Even the ones that are staying home, though, are having some extended family. I would tell you they're not opening their doors to people that they don't normally interact with. Right. But I would tell you a lot less. We normally had a party of about 50, 60 every Thanksgiving at a friend's of ours, Sally Boy's Pizza. We go to Sal's house, canceled. We're not doing that. Everybody's staying at home, and we're going to try to do some of this crazy video stuff.
There you go. We're out of time on that one, but we're back in a minute with the Secretary Designate of the State Health Department.